You are now
No,
tuned.
let me do it. Let me do it. You are now tuned in to the Saying What You Won't podcast.
Yo, check it out, man. It's Baby Gas,
And Monique Moraz.
and we are back with the Saying What You Want podcast. This time's a little different, though.
Yeah, very.
It's a little different. I will say that we are not the same people from the last episode.
Definitely not.
And first and foremost, I think we owe it to the viewers, to the listeners, as to where the fuck have we been?
Going through it.
All right, well, let's talk about it. Let's let the people know and be a little transparent. Because I know we had some pauses in our podcast journey a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm tired of the people probably thinking like, man, these dudes ain't for real. All they do is drop 1, 2 episodes, some fire ones,
Definitely.
and then just go ghost. Shout out to LaRussell for the last episode. That one was
That one was
crazy.
amazing.
That was tight. Not to mention our daughter Amina
Randomly
was all
stuck herself in the episode.
she snuck herself in the episode. We was filming, and we was filming in the backyard, his backyard. So initially, she had some chalk. She was tagging up the whole pergola. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
was going crazy. And then one second to another, we like, where Amina go? And then we turn around, and she coming out from LaRussell's house.
With snacks and
Yeah,
everything.
graham crackers and a Capri Sun, and she was chilling with moms and
Shout
shit.
out to moms for that. She really took care of her.
Hey, I was like, what are you doing inside the house? Like, kids, man, they don't give a fuck. They'll make themselves comfortable anywhere. That shit was so funny, man. Shout out to Russell on that. If you have not seen that episode, go watch that. That shit is a lot of free game on there. He dropping a lot of gems. He's doing a lot of amazing shit, man. So, yeah, once again, shout out to Russell on that. But, yeah, let's talk about it, man. We were gone for
Couple months.
a couple months now, huh?
Yeah.
And we just want to be transparent. So I'm going to let you kick it off. Let them know where we been. Let them know why we ain't been around. And let them know why we barely coming back.
All right. Well, for those that follow me on my Instagram, I opened up about my brother passing away recently in September. So, with that being said, that is the reason why we've been away. To be with family, obviously, and to go through our grieving, and it really flipped my fucking world upside down.
Tell them how. Like, what was the fit? Well, like, obviously we're talking to each other, right?
Right.
Because this is our podcast. But I know how it flipped your world upside down. I know what you've been going through. But for the people that just don't truly understand, just give them a little context as to, what you've been feeling and what you've been going through. I think it's very important, for yourself and for everybody, most importantly for yourself to be transparent, to
Right.
recognize what you're going through. And that's the
I'm like
best way.
trying hella hard not to cry. It's like I'm like already tearing up, so I was like, let me catch myself.
No, but this is a judge free zone, baby.
Right, I know. I'm such an ugly crier, but so what I didn't open up about on my Instagram when I said, that he passed away, and shout out to everybody that, sent their condolences, is my brother actually passed away from suicide. So that, just that already, you know what I mean? That like really it really fucked me up. You know what I mean?
Right.
My only brother, by the way. So, I don't know. It's the first time that anybody like that super super close to me like passed away. So this is like the first time I'm experiencing all the feelings that I'm feeling, the roller coaster of going up and down, which is another reason, being away from social media and being away for a couple months, because like I didn't have nothing to say. It's already hard to talk about, even though, it's been a couple months, but like I just was not there. These are feelings I've never felt before.
Right. And I mean, there's feelings that you necessarily, can't fix. We say this all the time. There ain't no such thing as it gets better. Right. Like it really you just learn how to live with it. And you learn how to live with the new version of yourself, right? Because, like we said in the beginning of this podcast, we're not the same people that we were before on our last episode because this is now a new version of you. You know what I
Yes.
mean? This is now the Monique without a brother. Like, you got to learn how to live with that. And that's kind of like me as your husband is one of the things that I've experienced over the last few weeks. Um, Seeing how you manage. And let me just start off by saying how big it was for us to not be on social media for so long.
Yeah.
This is what we do for a living. So to just retract ourselves from everything that we were doing from one night to another and, completely go ghost, you know,
Right.
uh, obviously we did it with no thought, right? Family comes first, family over everything, family before anything. But for the people that are out there and think like, hey, like this stuff is just a hobby, cool, you took a little break, like, think about think about not showing up to work for a couple months. And we don't work 9 to 5 jobs, so it's not like we got paid leave. It's
Right.
not like we got family time to take off. You know what I mean? The moment that we step out of what we're doing and we just go ghost, I mean, now we're digging into our living.
Right.
Um, but I wanted to say that to let people know that at the end of the day, family is all we got. So if we're gonna do this shit for anybody, it's gonna be family. So while people are watching, people are listening, people are wondering where we've been, I just want to make that very clear. If any time we go ghost from this point moving forward, it has to do with family.
Right.
We're not gonna go ghost for no other reason, besides some of the technical issues that sometimes we be running across.
Yeah.
Um, Not to mention, who just on to call me in the middle of a podcast. Um, not to mention like if I'm sure it fucked you up crazy, and I've seen it fuck you up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I've seen it fuck up, your dad and other people in the family. I will say for me, it fucked me up in my own way. For one, it was triggering.
Mhm.
Right? We lost a business partner, a good friend, recently the same way. So for me, it was definitely triggering to be able to, to go through that again. It was just crazy because now we're dealing with a death of somebody close that we have no answers to.
Right.
And that's kind of like the hardest part right here. But I did want to take a moment to make this episode and shine some light on mental health and mental health awareness, and as to why it is important. Um, from this project that, by the way, I just dropped a brand new project, Fired My Therapist EP out now. And the reason that I'm even mentioning the project in such a conversation is because this is where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, what, 2 years since we gave the people a project. And I think that once we went through all of this, something in me just kind of like sparked. It's like I need to get in the studio, something, right? I need to give them something, and I think that this is a good time to do so. Give them some real pain music, bring some of this real music back. The industry's so messed up right now and so fabricated. It hadn't felt real in a long time. Um, but with your little brother passing, your little brother was an artist himself,
Yes.
talented. He was young, so obviously he was still in the up and coming stages. But upon, coming across some of the stuff that he was doing, I mean, he was just an overall creative. And in a way, seeing all of that kind of like made me realize, uh, the impact that one can have on another. We were at his service um, when a friend or two of him came up to me and he was all like, "Man, I heard about you. He done told me a lot about you. He was always telling me we need to go with him. We need to go to the studio with him." And for me, not only did it fuck me up because, losing a brother-in-law, right? This is another little brother that I gained when me and you got together. You know, but when me and you became family, when me and you got married, everything that is on your side of the family becomes mine. You know, so ever since he was young, you know, I would say probably like what, 11, 10 years old. He always kind of looked up to what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then to come across some of the stuff that he was doing, like we came across his music, his unreleased music, and I mean, the shit was slapping, you
It
know.
was. And, and that's something like over the years, he texts me like, "Hey sis, listen to this song. Like, what do you think about it?" And, we'd go back and forth on it, like what he could improve on, anything like that. Even down to, he had a clothing brand,
Right,
and that was called Not Found. And my brother also had that in his artist name, Not Found. So that's where I'm like, I love that, Not Found. I think you should really brand that and go with that for your clothing.
right,
And within like 2 weeks, I see on Instagram, he sent me pictures of the first hoodies he made. And it was dope. And I think that's something, now that he's gone, I catch myself, I've like read our thread over and over. Like it's like, he's not here, so I just like to go back.
right, right. And you know what's crazy is that when I go back to mine and his threads, you know, uh, we'll either be like roasting you or
Wow.
we'd be either roasting you or I'd be roasting him.
Right.
Because obviously our viewers don't know what he looks like or didn't know him, but he was young as fuck but big as hell.
He was like six something.
Right. So I used to hit him all the time, like, bro, how you look 15 but 45 at the same time? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think, so go back to the project, right? The Fire My Therapist, for the viewers that have listened to it already. Number one, the song, the very first song, it is called Not Found.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that was the motivation and the inspiration behind it, was being able to somehow, keep his legacy alive, which is obviously just the tip of the iceberg of what we're getting ready to do, right?
Right.
But it was just something because he was a musician, I'm an artist, and I just wanted to put that on wax as a dedication to him and what he had built, and then what we had seen him build, right? Because he, like any other teenager, he was in his own world, had his own group of friends,
Mhm.
and but the last time that we brought him to a show, we did a show in Sacramento, and we dragged
Yeah.
him with us. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm glad he got to see the possibilities of what can be when you put your mind into something, and then being able to see, like you said, the clothing and the people at his high school actually copping this clothing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That itself was like a breath of fresh air for me. And that was like one of the reasons why it was like something bit me, like go get in that studio and drop a project for the people. I'm gonna be real, I'm not a fan of where the state of music is right now, and a lot of times it isn't as fun as it used to be. But
Mhm.
during that time I just felt something like, just go do it, you know what I mean? And we did, and the project came out fucking great. And I hope that wherever he's at, looking down on us, I hope that he, likes that song as much as I do,
Yeah.
because
And in that first track, for the listeners and viewers, that first snippet you hear off the EP and the track Not Found, that first snippet is my brother.
right, right, first couple seconds
Yeah.
before the real beat comes on, it was a sample. We wanted to give a teaser without fully releasing something that he had left behind. Obviously, that's something more of a conversation for the whole family to talk about, if that's something that will be ever released to the public,
Right.
or if it's just something that we will appreciate, internally as family. So yeah, Not Found, number one. If you ain't heard it, go hear it. And yeah, wherever you are looking down at us, we love you, and we hope that you enjoyed the project as much as we enjoyed making it. Um, Now let's talk about where you're at right now, right? It took a
Mhm.
lot. Um, it took a lot.
Yeah, I
Like I
did.
said, it took a lot. And first and foremost, my most utmost respect for you for even coming on the set today, because everybody, you know, everybody grieves a little different, which we'll get into that. Um, but just after losing your little brother, your only brother, here you are still on this podcast set, keeping it moving for the people, continuing to go back to work. I know it's been tough. Where are you? Where are you at mentally? How you feeling?
Um, I feel like mentally I'm like I'm still I'm still pretty fucked up. I'm still grieving. Like it's a roller coaster. One day I'm happy. Next day I'm like on the bathroom floor just crying and going through it. So it's like it's still a process for me. I don't know when it's going to get better. I don't know when I'll like finally stop crying about it, but I tear up about it at least like once a day. Like it's still constantly in my mind. I'm
Right.
still like I know I still have to be a mom. I know I still have to work. So it's like I get my stuff done, but like once everything's done and I'm like with my own thoughts at night is when I'm still going through it pretty bad.
And you should know first and foremost that you have every right to break down as much as times as you want. You have every right to take a break whenever you want to get yourself together. Us here as your family, your kids, your husband will always be in your corner, no matter how long it takes. You know, that's what we're here for. You know, we're your support just as much as you support every one of us individually. We're definitely here for you in return. And I never want you to feel like you gotta wipe your tears and get on with your day because you got all of us here. Our kids, myself, and then just having me in general. I think we can manage without fucking up the house too bad. Uh,
See, and it's that too. It's like, like I know you guys can manage, but just like as a mom and as a wife, you just automatically feel guilty. Like I can't just lock myself up in here and just like cry. Like I have to go do my wife duties. I still have to go be my mom. I have to spend time with my kids. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's also a battle within itself.
right. And would you say that this is one of your darkest moments,
Yeah.
lowest, whatever you'd call it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, um, going back to what you just said about not wanting to lock yourself up, I'm I'm glad that you have that mentality. Because on the basis of mental health, I just want to point out that in the lowest point of my life, um, you eventually came into my life and saved me from just being locked up in the fucking room all fucking day. You know what I mean? I know what it feels like to hit a certain point where all you want to do is block out everything.
Mhm.
And matter of fact, yesterday I was in the middle of like making a post on my Instagram. I like being transparent with my viewers from time to time, and I like wrote this fat ass fucking paragraph on my story and completely trashed it.
Oh wow,
Like
why?
right before I posted it. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I might be talking a little too much. I might be sharing a little too much on social media.
Mhm.
So when I read it over, I'm like, man, what am I doing? I just like toss it to the garbage. You know what I mean? But I do want to mention that I've been there. I've been at a point where you feel so low and you kind of just want to block out the whole world. And in the moment, you feel like it's the right thing to do, but then you realize in the future that you done lost out on hella shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like when I was living in the studio, 30 on me days, right?
Mhm.
Not to mention, you had heard that song before we met. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like 30 on me days, everybody and their mom was hearing my name. Man, this song slaps. Go listen to it. We were like literally at the tip of our fucking career. I was
Mhm.
going up. I was getting booked everywhere, and people were keeping me busy. Um, but like I said yesterday in that little paragraph, it's like, people see the life that I live, the life that we live until you realize everything that I've lost along the way.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
That part right there.
Yeah, I feel like I have everything and nothing at the same time.
Same.
Um, there was a point in time where 30 on Me was in the building. Everybody was talking about 30 on Me. People were booking me interviews, shows, everything. And while everybody was praising me, I was there losing out on, you know, my youngest son's first steps. I was missing out on the shit that I was grinding for to begin with.
Mhm.
So, I'm over here trying to drink this liquor and shit, whatever the hell is in this cup. But let me finish what I'm saying. It comes a point where you need those people that are gonna allow you to sit there in the bathroom floor, cry as much as you need to, but at the same time, not leave you there too long
Right.
because too long can also do some harm. And I
Mhm.
think that for a long time, I blocked everybody out of my life, right? I was running the studio, we were on the road, we were doing shows, and everybody was with me. We was going crazy. And then when I went back home, which at the time was a studio, when I went back to my place of living,
Mhm.
that's when all the thoughts came out.
Yep.
That's when all the emotions came out. That's when all the feelings came out. That's where I crumbled. And that's when I realized I really didn't have anybody or
Mhm.
anybody that really mattered. You know what I mean? Then one day your thick ass come in my life.
Oh my
You
god.
know what I mean? And I don't know, man. Somewhere along the line, I just let you in.
It's vice versa though, because even that time when my thick ass did walk into your life, my thick ass was going through some shit too. That was another, I guess, part of my life. Those were like my what, like my earlier 20s. So I had hit another type of bottom during that time too. I was going through. I was a mess. When I say I was a mess, to all the viewers and listeners, I was a fucking mess. Like I get a lot of women that message me like, "Oh, we love how motivating you are and everything that I am today." It took a lot. And let me tell you, I was in a very fucked up place. So it took a lot for me to get where I am today.
Right. And I mean, just to add to that though, right? Because I know you're always like, man, I don't. I was a fucking mess at some point. I don't know how these girls look up to me, but I think that right there, right? Like we want to look up to somebody, that has been through the mud and then came out on the other side. We don't want to hear from somebody who's jolly 24/7 and ain't never been through no struggles, trials, or tribulations. You know what I mean? We
Mhm.
want somebody that has been through it, then overcame it, is a new person now, and is now positive, is now finding ways to be this uplifting person. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest with you, like, and here's where we talk about the grieving, right? Like everybody's grieving is a little different.
Mhm.
You might be the type of person that grieves by taking some time and crying as much as you need to, and then you wipe your tears and you continue on with your day. And you might do that in increments and pieces throughout however long it takes. Me myself, although I'm just numb. Like I don't know what to do sometimes. I don't know if I should cry. I don't know if I should just keep it lit.
And see, that was I used to be numb too. And I noticed me just holding it in and like, no, I'm a keep it lit. I realized I was doing myself more harm, which is why I do cry so much now because if I hold it in, I'm just fucking myself up later for either like a bad mental breakdown or something. So if I'm a cry in the moment. Like I have to release.
And I haven't got there. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I don't even know if I'm allowed to be there. I think that
And why do you say aloud?
I mean shit. There's too much things going on. Like I can't really just take a second to just, you know, let it all out. If I let it all out, like you said, or like you mentioned earlier, and I mentioned in return, I might be on that flow for too long. If I let it all out, if this motherfucker might never stop. You know what I mean? If I open my doors like that, like they might not ever close. And I don't think I'm ready for that. I try to, as you know, I try to read as much as I can. I
Mhm.
try to like consume different things that can like teach me over time, right? We don't come from that. We don't come from where they teach you how to like deal with shit internally. You know, they might shoot you to a therapist right quick. Hence the fired my therapist title,
Mhm.
because I feel like some of the stuff that they want you to do, I'm not into. I don't know if I can sit there in front of a therapist at this age and just let everything out. You know what I mean? Like,
And I feel that too because and that's nothing against people that, find comfort in therapy, that's great, but for me personally, I go through it by myself. And I'm not sure if this is like a Gemini thing, but like it's hard for me to let people be there for me. I'm like a go suffer in silence alone type of person. Um and like I'm the type like you got to pop up on me. I'm not going to say I'm not going to say I need you here. I'm not going to ask you to come. And shout out to my sis fucking Bernice, Jake, and rolling with Mamacitas because they did just that. They were like, we're coming, and they are in LA, by the way. They literally drove like 5 hours just to come see me for about an hour or two, and then drove right back.
right, right, and that's love. Shout
That,
out to them.
yeah,
And I'm a little different. Don't pop up on me. You know, just
yeah.
please don't. You know, like, and you know, it might be a Virgo thing.
Mhm.
If I'm ready to come around people, I will. You know, popping up on me, I don't really necessarily get the same, give the same reaction. Like, ah, damn, you know me. You came and popped up on me. You feel me? That's the reason why I don't let it be known when I'm going through anything,
Mhm.
because I don't want that. I don't know. I don't know. I just take it a different way. I'm not looking for any sympathy.
See, and that's how I felt too. Is like I'm not looking for sympathy, and not only that, but I'm like, if you're gonna come here, like I'm not in the mood. I'm not gonna talk, and I'm the type I hate to be rude, especially like when I'm going through something. I'm gonna just go through it, so I'm not that bad negative energy that's around. You know what I mean? So like when you pop up on me, I'm more like I'm not in the best spirits right now. Like I don't want you to take it as rude. So like that's my biggest thing. I don't ever want to come off like I'm being rude. I know you drove all this way, but I'm like I have nothing to say to you right now. Like I'm going through it. Like we about to just sit here in silence, or you're just about to watch me cry.
Right. Oh, but that's a good thing though. You know what I mean? Just like, the individuals that did come and drove all the way down, they didn't expect for you to say nothing.
I know,
You
and
know
they
what I mean?
didn't, and they expressed that to me, but just to me, I was just like, well,
Like, it's not for you to like, but you still take it better than me,
yeah,
because I wouldn't answer the door. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way I am. Like, I see you at the door, I'm gonna peep through the blinds and act like I'm not home. You know what I mean? So everybody agrees a little different, and
hmm
I think for men it's way different. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like,
I'm a big believer of that as well.
I feel like we open up, that shit's used against us.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of things you don't know about me. And truth is, plenty of things you'll never know. And I think that, because at the end of the day, it's for us to deal with internally. And over the years, people have proven to us time and time again that, it's just looked like another form of weakness,
hmm
you know what I mean, and used against us. So why the fuck would we ever put ourselves on the table like that for that shit to be used against us when somebody gets upset at us, when somebody no longer wants to fuck with us, when somebody feels like shit don't go their way, they always use that shit as a fucking token. And now that's the fucking fucked up part, that you might not be that type of person. You might not be looking to do your man like that. You know what I mean? But the
hmm
truth is that we just not here to take no fucking chances.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, when people, see this new project, that's me telling y'all what I'm going through. That's it. That's all you're gonna fucking get from me. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get nothing else. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? I don't want to fucking talk. None of that shit. And it's nothing personal, right? Like you
Right.
just said, it ain't none personal. I'm just not in the mood for it. So somebody had messaged me about a quote that I had said in my song. I think it was Fire off the new project where I said like silent ride home. My wife asking what's wrong. What the fuck was my lyrics?
You don't remember your own lyrics?
um, you know, yeah, something like my wife asking what's wrong. I won't say nothing. Silent ride home. My thoughts loud. I won't play nothing.
Hmm.
You know, you my partner. You my best friend. You know what I mean? But like the truth is, you ask me what's wrong. You're probably gonna get like half the answer or a lie.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's just the truth. That's just me being transparent. Because in my head, what the fuck can you possibly do with this information?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like in a way, it kind of seems like what do you really need to know for? How are you gonna help me?
And for me, I just feel like just being here to listen to you. Maybe you don't want to answer for me. Maybe you don't want a like solution. Maybe you just need to let it out or be heard. And I feel like as a wife, like I am here for you to be heard. If we can come up with a solution, I'm here to help come up with that too, if I can. But if I can't, I just want you to know, I'm here for you to be
What
heard.
if the problem is you? Nah, nah, that's fucking with
Really?
you.
That is messed up. But
Nah,
no, but let's talk about that. What if it was the case? Communicate with me. What's my problem? Like, what am I doing?
no, that's facts. That's facts. But listen to this though. Like as a wife, right? How the fuck am I supposed to tell you something that you can't possibly comprehend as a woman?
That is that's very deep.
You know, you can't comprehend it as a woman. You're not a man. You know what I mean? You can't possibly. It'll just be me expressing my issues,
Mhm.
which is cool. I mean, I feel you on the like just want to hear me out, right? And I've talked to you about this before about the memoir Green Lights that I read,
Right.
right? Where Matthew McConaughey, fucking he goes sees a pastor or something, and he's like expressing all his issues and all that in hopes of a solution
Mhm.
in return. But all the pastor had to say to him after everything he heard him going through, he responded with "Me too."
Yeah.
So
And that
I
is
mean I
something
feel
that
you,
people want to hear too sometimes. Like,
but
yeah, me too.
that's why I released the project. That was my way of doing that.
Yeah, and see, but you at least you still have an outlet. You know what I mean? That was your therapy.
Mm.
Not saying that it's always your therapy, but I know it in some way helps to be able to release some of the stuff that you have.
Yeah, sometimes I just feel like you know, stress could be the death of us. You know,
No, for real.
um,
And while we're talking about lyrics, there's another one that really stood out to me. I think I even posted it on my Instagram or Threads. But you say something about like talking to myself because I don't trust nobody else.
yeah,
That was I felt that because I do. Um, you can ask Gas. He'll walk in. I'm talking out loud to myself because I don't. And like how you say, you don't want things used against you or whatever it is, or just being that vulnerable with people and them somehow trying to, bring it back to you or whatever. I don't. I don't talk to nobody unless it's you. And like, there's things I won't even talk to you about either.
right,
I talk to myself because I don't trust nobody. I don't.
right. I mean, I don't know. It's a weird topic. You know what I mean? To even get on that, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what the fuck to say to you. How I don't. I just can't take the chance. That's just the truth. I feel like we can live a happy life with us just being able to deal with our issues internally. Of course, communicate certain shit. And we got different personalities, though.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like we have different personalities. You, you're more somebody, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but the type of person that I see you being is like, even though you don't want to talk to somebody about something, when you do talk to somebody about that, it helps.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're somebody who like pushes people away, but like when somebody gets in the door, like, you don't mind the company.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like and I think that's just a Gemini thing. You know what I mean? Like, so we're not similar in that sense, right? Like, of course, there's stuff that you won't tell me just in the same way that I won't tell you, but we are very much different in that sense. Like, if somebody comes into, to your door and you eventually let them in, like, you don't mind that company. I've seen it plenty of times with you.
Mhm.
I've seen you not want to go out somewhere, and then when you're out, you're having the time of your fucking life. Fucking drunk somewhere, dancing. You feel me? Hitting the flow, or like.
Damn, not hitting the flow.
I mean, we ain't gonna talk about some of the shit that you be doing, but like, I'm not like that though. I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not my character. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just not in the mood to go out, I'll be in this motherfucking club, mugging everybody in this bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not my cup of tea, So everybody's different. The only reason I'm even saying any of this is for our viewers to realize that everybody is different. Though they grieving different, they take their issues differently, they stressing differently. You know what I mean? They handling all this shit differently, and it's
And if
okay.
you are dealing with things internally and that's the way you like to deal with things, I don't think anybody should be able to tell you, oh, that's wrong. Because who are you to really say that that's wrong?
Right.
It might work for some people. That some people can work it out on themselves. They need to go through something internally and then they can like fix themselves.
Only thing I'm gonna say though, and I'm gonna say this shit one fucking time. Not the last fucking time I'm gonna address
Ooh,
this
you
shit.
heard him one time.
And I'm talking to you.
Ooh, why?
Wait, what?
Why? Why you say it like that? Why you point your finger at me? I don't like that. It's kind of aggressive.
You want me to do the Salvadoria? Like,
Oh
I'm
my
talk-
gosh.
I'm talking to you.
Stop. Like he's having me all the time. Where's the remote? I grew up like that too.
Hey, no, but I think, look, I'm a big believer that if you're not gonna have people in your business and you're not a fan of telling people what's wrong,
Mhm.
don't let your issues overflow into your shit with other fucking people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. And I'm just transparent. And you know I'm that transparent because you're one of the people that I've told this to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you don't want me asking what's wrong, or if you don't want to talk about it, stop walking around here like something wrong then. You know what I mean? Right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's saying what you want. Like, if I'm going through it,
Mhm.
and obviously this shit is like, whatever I'm dealing with, I'm going to deal with the shit internally, or I'm going to deal with it at my own time. And the moment that I walk out of, like, if I was you, the moment I walk out the bathroom and I wipe my tears, it's over with. It stayed in the bathroom.
Mhm.
So now that I'm rolling around other people, you not gonna know. So if you don't want people in your business, keep it like that all the way through. You know what I mean? Because then that's how people get pushed away.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, you walking around here like nothing wrong, but you're treating people differently because you're going through it. We don't know. That person don't know why the fuck you treating them differently.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether you sad, you mad, or whatever it is, they just gonna think like you acting fucking funny.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's your fucking boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your fucking siblings, your mama. You feel me? That's the quickest way for you to push somebody away, because now they're feeling like different emotions from you, and their mind gets to spinning with all these assumptions because you're not
Right.
being transparent. And if you didn't want them to ask what was wrong in the first place, don't let it be noticeable. I don't know. I mean, am I wrong for that? Like, I
No,
don't know.
I
Like,
feel that. I feel that. And even if you don't want to talk about it, at least I don't know. I feel like just a courtesy, you can at least just be like, I'm having a rough day. At least, if you are, because I mean, what if you really are just going through it? You can't fix your face or your eyes are still hella puffy. You know what I mean? I mean, just I'm I'm having a day.
yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right.
I mean, like, you don't got to be
Right.
super detailed, but like, I'm having a day, and just
Right.
leave it at that.
Yeah, and that's cool. But what happens tomorrow, though? What happens the day after that? How many times are you gonna have a day,
Mm,
without people properly or really knowing what you're going through? You know what I
right.
mean? Now it feels like, oh shit, like I'm being left out the bubble. You know what I mean? Like, how many days do you think? Like, let me ask you this, right? Like, going through something that you don't want to share with others. How many? What? How? what's a reasonable amount of days before it's okay for somebody to just push you the fuck out the way? Like you gonna wake up for the next fucking 3-4 months going through it and repeating yourself, I'm having a day. People gonna start thinking like, well,
Damn.
fuck motherfucker, is it me? Like
Right.
shit. Tell me who.
Right. Damn, yeah. I guess for me, I'm like, if it is gonna take me a few months, or I'm probably gonna tell you like
We need a break.
what happened. No,
Oh no.
no. Like I might have to end up telling you something. Like if I really can't change my attitude for the next couple months, or it was something that deep, I'm probably gonna have to say just what that was. Like somebody passed away. I'm going through it. Like something to where it's like, oh,
Right.
okay, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you know what happened. Like I don't want to talk about it, but
But okay, so when we talk about things like that, right? I feel like those things are easy. Like if I'm going through it because I lost somebody, I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell anybody. I go lie, bro. I'm going through. I just lost somebody close, in the
it's like
family
with
or
your own self.
yeah.
It's a little,
It's like when you're dealing with your internal issues. Maybe you woke up and you don't like how the fuck you look in the mirror.
mm,
Maybe you don't like how your life been going.
mm,
Maybe you don't even love your life. You know what I mean? Maybe you got all this shit in your life that you really didn't want. You know what I mean? Not saying that's my case, but I'm saying like,
right.
and talking in general,
Somebody's case.
yeah, talking about in general, like, fuck, bro, maybe you're fucking married with kids and never even wanted fucking kids or a fucking spouse.
Mm, that
You're not gonna wake up and tell people that.
right.
You're not gonna share that with nobody. You know what I mean?
Man, and that's deep because just the whole like, mental health awareness, you really don't know what somebody's battling.
But transparency is key. We used to say communication is key, but transparency
Mm.
is huge. And somebody said the other day, you know, yeah, I blanked out. I don't know what they said, but like,
Yeah.
transparency is a key thing because you got to be able to keep it real. If you do wake up, for the people that go out there, right, and I just wanna fucking say this, bro, especially for my man out there. I'm sure the women go through it too, but sometimes you get into situations early on in your life. You build families with people. You know what I mean? You get
Mhm.
fucking knee deep, balls deep, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You just get deep into situations and you feel like there is no out. I'll
Yep.
use that as a situation like people who are married and regret being married, but they don't want to break their home.
Mm.
They don't want to separate their kids. You gotta put yourself first, bro. You gotta be selfish out here.
Yeah.
We fucking up this fucking carpet, I think, huh?
Yeah, I'm like over here sliding it, pushing it. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that I know a few people
Yeah.
like that, and sometimes you gotta just take that extra, you know. I went through something similar where I had to like lose some time away from my boys and sacrifice a bit of time away from them to better myself. And I'm not gonna lie, that's just tough now. You know what I mean? I think about those like early years, like I said, when Milo, which is our youngest boy, like he was walking and he was doing all this new shit, and I wasn't there. I still look at him. I look at him all the time, and I think to myself like, I am truly sorry, but at the same time, I need you to understand that I did this for the sake of us, our relationship. What would your relationship be with me if you had a broken father that wasn't giving you his 100%?
Yeah.
So I had to take certain steps and certain changes in my life that I knew that the typical person probably wouldn't, or they don't know how to get to the other side of the tunnel. And I'm just like, come on. When we got married, my knee just popped right
Oh,
now.
that was your knee?
Shit, I'm
Thought
getting.
the chair.
Hell no, I'm getting old out here. It's coming to an end, y'all. But when we was getting married, at our wedding, we did. I'm sure we talked about this. We did the whole little thing where all our kids got together and they said vows
Mhm.
to the family before anything, right? Like we're a blended family for the people that don't know. She came with 2 kids. I came with 2 kids. We had one together, which was many moons ago, right? So the kids have now been raised, in a group setting, But anyhow, back to the story. At our wedding, our 10-year-old, um, he was crying at the wedding, and he cried after the whole like ceremony before the party.
Mhm.
And I went back and I looked back at the footage, and like there were people had mics on them, we had mics on us, so we got to hear like some of these conversations, and they asked him like, "Why you crying?" He wasn't. He. I mean, maybe to him it was a little different because as a kid, when you're up there, you're an adult. You're seeing like a beautiful fucking moment. You're just
Mhm.
crying and like smiling. But he was like really tearing down and breaking down. And somebody asked him like, "Why you crying?" And he's like, I'm just so proud of my dad." And then that fucked me up when I saw the video back because that told me that my son realized everything that his dad had been through, and here I am on the other side.
Mm.
That was it. You know, when I was going through that whole little thing in the studio, and I was not the best version of myself, my kids was getting dropped off to me, and I'm gonna keep it real, like I was fucked up. Like I was fucked up. My kids would get dropped off and we wouldn't do nothing because I was just in a fucking depressed ass fucking setting. And I had to take that fucking chance to be where the fuck I am right now, to be the best version of myself, to be able to give them the best version of their father.
And you did that.
And that was real, right? It fucks me up. I think about it all the time. It fucks me up. But the truth is that I had to do it. I did it. And here I am. You know what I mean? So, to all my people out there dealing with mental health issues, all my men out there dealing with certain situations you don't know how to get out of, women, whatever it may be, there's always another way. Right?
Right.
Right. That's just, you know, I don't know. Every time I tell that story to myself, well, this is the first time I tell everybody else, but
Yeah.
I've thought about that story to myself, and it just fucks me up. You know what I mean? It fucks me up knowing that, like, at some point, if I would have continued being in that situation, got a little high after that last shot, um, I wouldn't, I don't know where I'd be. But I think that growing up how I grew up too, without a father, I had to make some fucking changes. Now people have been wondering like, Gas, where you been? Why you ain't gave us no album? Shit like that. And fuck, I was fucking my kids, bro. I owe it to them.
Yeah.
So here I am, all these years later, dropping this new project. Which, by the way, you can get it on all social media platforms, digital platforms. But we also do have physical copies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If somebody want to come on there, physical copied up, and want to get a collectible signed and autographed and shipped to your front door, make sure you tap in and hit that website. We'll put the website right here where you can get all that. But yeah, you know, I just thought about that. Like, it's been a long time coming. So, regardless of what anybody's going through, man, y'all stay on y'all shit. Y'all obviously
Yeah.
see my wife right here, right in the flesh. Still thugging and moving forward every fucking day.
And let me tell you, it hasn't been easy. I think another thing which I didn't share was, when my brother passed, he passed the night before my oldest daughter's birthday.
Oh shit, man! Let me tell y'all about that right there.
And as a mom, it, you know, it was her 13th birthday. And here I am, we're grieving the next day on her birthday. Everybody's just crying in a day that should have, been a celebration for her.
And
You know
just
what
to
I mean?
describe it to people, right? We get the news about your brother, the night before nighttime.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So obviously we spend the whole night crying and going through it and doing what people do. And then the very next morning, when it is her birthday, it's the first time that everybody in the family links up and shares this pain. So, like, back to your story, it was fresh, but we was going through it.
Going through it bad, and I just regular mom shit. I felt so fucked up and bad that here I am crying, like on your birthday, but I also lost my brother, and trying to juggle the two. It was just, it was a lot. And shout out to my family, because while we're there, crying, grieving, and we're there with my dad, I had some aunties there that took it upon themselves to go to the store and make sure that my daughter had a birthday cake. So as a mom, I'm like, damn, I'm fucked up. I didn't even think about that, right? But huge shout out to my family, because, it was at first I'm like, dang, I feel bad trying to, celebrate a birthday, and, we're mourning a loss, but it was a moment that everybody kind of stopped crying and really celebrated her, but like genuine though, like,
Right.
they still had smiles on their faces, hugging her and, telling her happy birthday, made sure she blew out candles. So that was a whole other thing of its own, man.
Right, right. In fact, you know, all I can say is like she took it like a champ,
Yeah.
and I expressed this to her in private, and I won't get too much into detail of our private conversation, but I think the main part of it was like, thank you for being understanding. Luckily
Yeah.
she's mature enough to understand like this is where we needed to be on your birthday. Although this is a birthday that every teenager looks forward to, right? This is
Yeah.
teenage fucking years. Um, family, family comes first, and our family needed us, and you were blessed enough to wake up on your birthday, and I hope that one day when you turn of age, you understand that and you don't hold it against us too much,
Yeah.
which I don't think she does, but like I just hope she never does. You know what I mean? We make sure she's right every birthday, Christmas, anything
Right.
on a daily basis. All our kids are spoiled, bro. But I really, really, just yeah, it was tough. It was tough. But just to add to what you were saying, um, you're only human,
Yeah.
so like there was only so much you could do, you know. And if she was a little older, maybe if she was in our age and this happened on her birthday, she'd have told you that too.
Yeah.
They're kids, man. At the end of the day, like kids don't understand none of this shit at this age, man. They don't understand none of it. They don't even know what the hell we be going through.
Speaking of that, just really quick, this is at least something a little funny to add, just being so sad is, this might be like probably like day 3 or day 4 for me after my brother passing. And I'm in the bathroom, and I mean sobbing. I'm talking about mocos out the nose. I'm talking hyperventilating, like I'm going through it in the bathroom, right? I'm just sitting on the toilet, just fucking sobbing, right? And my youngest is banging on the door, screaming for me. And I'm like, Amina, not right now, not right now. I even got to the point where like I got upset, and I'm like, Amina, go find your dad, leave me alone, right? She's still crying, so I open it, and I'm like, yes, Amina, like what do you need, right? And I don't know, I forgot what it is she wanted, but let me tell you, it was something so dumb. And I just couldn't help it. Like, kids do not give a fuck. I'm here looking crazy, and she's just like wanted what she wanted, and my ass got up and got it, but
Yeah, yeah.
but still, it's just like I do
She
not care.
it be like that though. Like she probably was like, because this happened before. I mean, not in a situation like that where I was like sobbing, but like I'll be in the middle of something important, and she'll be like, "Where's the shoe to my Barbie?"
Yes.
And I'm like, "I don't know." And then she'll be like, "Find it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You find it. This ain't my toy." I mean,
Oh
these
my
kids be
gosh.
crazy, man. Um, and it's that right? Like it's that. I think like even our older kids, um, even though they're mature in their own way, they're still kids, bro, and they don't really
Yeah.
understand and really comprehend. Like I think like our oldest daughter, like it was like 2 3 days, after the whole situation, you know what I mean. And I think that like when we were around family, they got the point. Like, oh, they're grieving.
Yeah.
Everybody's crying. Everybody's like seeing each other, hugging each other. The hugs are lasting longer than usual. Like they noticed it. But like 2 days after the whole situation happened, right, we're back home and stuff like that, and um, you know, I think she had asked. They asked something about like where you were or something, and I'm like, I don't know, cause like we gotta go do something with the fam, or your mom not doing too good, and they're like, oh, what's wrong with her? And I'm like, were you not there?
Yeah.
Like this just doesn't go away in 2 days. You know what I mean? Like it's not something
Yeah.
that just like but kids will be kids. And first and foremost, before we continue, I just want to add this on here. Uh, Episode is brought to you by California Capital Bail Bonds. You know what I mean? If you ever need anybody bailed out, if you want to bring your loved ones home, if you got a loved one that ended up in a tough situation and you just need a solid bail bonds company to help you out in that situation, our people at California Capital Bail Bonds will take care of you. Let them know that the Saying What You Want podcast sent you, and they're going to get you right.
Yes, they will.
And I was just thinking about that. We talk about family and holidays are coming up, and
Mhm.
sometimes things happen at like super last minute. We don't want nobody missing holidays if they have the opportunity to come home. So if you're looking for a bail bonds company that can get you right, man, California Capital Bail Bonds. Let them know we sent you. But we really just wanted to come on here, give you guys this super raw and uncut episode. Fucking dropped a couple tears on here right quick. Just being transparent.
Yeah, I just really want to be transparent with you guys, and I'm coming. We're coming back to the podcast, but I'm still I'm hanging in there.
Right, right, and we will continue to do so. But we do just want to let you guys know a few things. For one, we're gonna get back to our Wednesday drops. So from now on, Saying What You Want podcast episodes will drop on Wednesdays again as they used to. Right, we were
Mhm.
on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So they'll go back to dropping on Wednesdays. That way, you guys can actually have a day that you're looking forward to every week. And we're gonna go ahead and do Wednesdays in the morning.
Ooh, in the morning.
In the
Okay.
morning, yeah. So, we just want to give people an opportunity to, drive to work, be at work.
Or if
Yeah.
you're at home and not working that day, I mean, you can always be sipping out of your Saying What You Want coffee mugs.
That part, you know what I
Tea,
mean?
coffee, a little bit of liquor, whatever you feeling.
Yeah, whatever you feeling. So yeah, with that being said, that's all we got for today. But let's get back to it. Let's get back to the regular. Please make sure y'all support, like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend, put your friends on the podcast, let them know that we back and to tune in every Wednesday. And then we got more things coming. We got more stuff that we'll be doing with everybody. And when I say Wednesdays, I'm talking about these podcasts, these film podcasts, these YouTube episodes. Ain't no telling other content that we're gonna give you guys throughout the weeks. So yeah, you got anything else?
Nope, that's all I got for now.
All right, well that's all I got, man. Once again, this is Baby Gas,
And Monique Moraz.
and you are tuned in to the Saying What You Want podcast. Let's go.